moment I became profitable is when I made my trading excruciatingly boring. And ever since then, I've been doing around $30,000 to $50,000 a month consistently. Now, when I first started trading, I would chase new setups and see how much money I can make in a day. Like, it's so stupid because I felt like trading was this fun thing that social media portrays it to be, but it's really not. But that's what was keeping me unprofitable. Trading is just systems. It's like boring. And if you just give me a couple minutes, I'll save you all the struggle and just hand you the framework that made me a consistent trader. And my promise to you is if you can actually sit through this entire video and actually implement the things that I'm teaching you, you will see improvements in your trading. Now I know this because 5 years ago, I was in the exact same spot as you. I was unprofitable. And I was sold this idea on social media that trading is fun and flashy and I need to make $5,000 a day. But this did more damage to my progress than you could ever imagine. I was stuck in something that I call the loop of an unprofitable trader. And I guarantee you're stuck in this loop right now and you don't even realize it. Because when I was in that inconsistent phase and I didn't really realize what it took to be a trader, I was, revenge trading, trying to get as many signals I could from anybody. And it led me down a spiral of, okay, I don't think I can do this myself. I need to be copying other people's trades. I need to be doing these things. And then in my head, it's like, I know I can't make those mistakes again. I know I shouldn't, but I keep having to because I don't have a framework and a system myself. So I need to rely on anybody else to put that system in place for me. And then they weren't doing it for me. I wasn't seeing the success I wanted. So I started over leveraging, over trading, doing these things to overcompensate. And then that led to my rock bottom. The moment where I thought, okay, maybe this isn't for me. I keep putting money back in that I keep blowing. And it's like, what do I do now? But the moment I realized kind of the loop I was in, that's when everything flipped. But it wasn't some new strategy or BS that some guru told me. It was actually way dumber than that. And that's probably why no one's ever told you this before. I took a step back and I really analyzed what I was doing with my trading and I really analyzed why I wasn't seeing success. So there was a couple things that I realized. You can't skip a cutscene in trading. You can't fast track the process and you can't not do the little things that are necessary. Those little things that are necessary, talking about journaling, talking about data collection, talking about back testing, talking about actually trying. At the end of the day, it's actually trying. And I know you're sitting there like, oh, I think I try. No, you don't. You don't. Because if you actually treated this like a business, you would try to what I'm talking about. And what I'm talking about is every single trade you take, analyze it, back test it, forward test it, journal it, collect every single piece of data so you can see the discrepancy on why you're not successful. Right? And those little things is what changed the game for me. It doesn't have to be this flashy thing. It's really boring. It's a business, right? It's a job. And I know you guys hate that word, but it is. It's what puts food on the table for me at the end of the day. So I have to treat it like that. And that's when I completely changed the way I trade. I call it the boring framework. Now, I just want to be transparent. I didn't magically turn profitable the second I implemented this, but what happened is I slowly started improving, and that's all you need to become profitable. And I know you want it to happen overnight, but it's not going to happen overnight. It's a process, and the first step of the process is breaking the loop and doing exactly what you have to do, which is implementing this framework. So what actually is the boring framework? To put it simply, it's a 3-step process that systemizes trading. Think of it like this. We all know McDonald's doesn't make the best burger, but it makes the same burger a billion times. Their edge is just being the best. It's about being repeatable. In trading terms, we're not trying to catch every move, master 17 different entry models. We're just trying to have a repeatable edge. So let's go over the 3 parts. First, data collection. Every time I take a trade, I log my P&L, my setup, my bias, my context, confluence, confirmation. Did I follow my rules? Did I win? Obviously, and a bunch of other things. There's also one thing I log that no other trader tracks, and I'll show you it in my journal in a minute. And then I take this data and I move on to the second part, refining. Basically, what do you do with this data you just collected? It's like a doctor, right? If I'm a doctor and you come with me with an issue, maybe your knee hurt, do you focus on your arm or do you focus on your knee? You have to diagnose the problem. You have to see the discrepancies in your data in order to know what to give, the medicine to the issue, the medicine to the sickness, whatever it is. And third is execution. So you got your data, you diagnose the problem, and now it's time to execute, right? How do you give the medicine to the problem? And it's easy. You know your edge works, and this is exactly what is the issue, the sickness or the injury that you need to rehab or give the medicine to. So you gotta execute it without emotions, because there's no gray area within because you saw the discrepancies plain and clear. And this step is what took me from break even to consistent. So now you understand what it is. So let me show you how to actually implement it. So let me show you an example of my actual journal that I will run you through my 3 steps. So first, obviously the data collection. So I log the date I took the trade, the session, the instrument, which is MNQ, direction I took the trade, long or short, The entry model, either I use my DGF, OT, I have all these things, my higher time frame bias. Now I usually go more in depth with this, but this is just an example. My context done, yes. Confluence done, confirmation done, yes. The score, I gave the 3 C's. The entry, the stop, target, the exit, contracts I used, the risk, max risk on my trade, the P&L, the R multiple, basically my risk to reward, the outcome of the trade. Did I follow my rules? What grade do I give the trade? The screenshot of the setup, and then obviously the lesson in the notes, which is the most important part, which we'll get into the next session. So next, refining. So what can I do with this data? I mean, I write it all down. It's not just gonna sit here. I actually have to put it to use, right? So I look at all this data and what can I do better? Okay, I said I could have waited for a better retracement. So I go on the charts, I realize, okay, let me reset this setup. Maybe let's back test it again and let's see how I could have gotten a better setup. Could I have waited for the whole gap fill or the whole retrace into the whole gap into the IFVG? Should I waited to the 786 in the OTE? Should I waited till another confluence got hit on my DGF before I enter longs? Whatever it is, you want to collect this data and not just let it sit. You want to actually see what you can do with it, which goes into my next one, execution. So this is the easy part, you think, right? But the emotions come to you when it actually is time to execute. So I said right here, could have waited for a better retracement, right? And all that says to me is, how can I execute a better retracement for a better entry into my trades? In this case, after looking at the trade, I entered in the midpoint of the gap, right? I need to wait for the full gap fill, maybe because my emotions were running and I really wanted to get into this trade so I don't miss it, right? I was feeling a little bit of FOMO, a little bit of greed, and that's okay. Now, am I gonna sit here and be like, screw that, I have ego, right? I don't wanna think that I'm doing something wrong, so I'm gonna keep on doing what I'm doing. No, next time I see this setup, I'm going to wait for the full retracement in order to get the best entry possible. And that is how I execute it. So think about it. If I keep journaling and logging all this data and using the 3-step process, the data collection, refining, and execution, how many more mistakes can I make? You check off all the boxes one by one, and at the same time, you're getting so much better at trading as a whole, just because you're implementing this 3-step process. You're minimizing all these mistakes you're making. And the only reason you can do that is because you are actually logging this data of what mistakes you're actually making. And this is just an example. You could have a mistake in your psychology. You could have a mistake in your risk management. Now, all you need to do is be honest with yourself. I know it's hard. I know when you take a loss, you don't want to journal in because you're embarrassed. I know when you overtrade and revenge trade and trade when you're not supposed to, you're embarrassed. But you have to log it because that is the only way you can get better. Please believe me, I made this mistake when I was unprofitable and I was so embarrassed of the trades to where I couldn't even put it on a paper because like that's so stupid. And that's what sends you down the spiral like I was talking about earlier. So log every single thing. Be honest with yourself, have self-accountability, and that is how you're gonna get slowly better over time. Like I was talking about, slow improvement, not overnight success. Now, this is the exact framework I gave Nick, who's gotten 7 payouts, and he's only been in my mentorship for 2 months. But we also have people like Caden, who consistently has $50,000 months trading now. My guy Sime, who now uses his consistent trading profits to fund his other businesses and ventures that he's now doing. And Milo, who has now used his trading profits to pay off his car, pay off his house, and just have more freedom with his kids and his wife. And if you're interested in applying as well, go ahead and click the top link in the description. Thank you for watching.